Alright, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Rebel back with another video, and today we are talking about the newest text-to-image model, Ovis-Image, the 7B model. So Ovis-Image is a diffusion-based text-to-image model stacked on top of the Ovis 2.5 multimodal backbone. It's optimized specifically for text-heavy prompts, meaning like posters, flyers, logos, UI mockups, infographics, memes, YouTube thumbnails, like anything that is going to be like text-based is going to excel with this model specifically. While it can generate certain aspects of like imaging, like photoreal images, it's not the specific function of this model. So you're going to want to use this specifically for heavy text-based prompting. And this is going to utilize a multimodal DIT style. So it's going to be a slower diffusion process than like Z image, but the quality of the text renders is definitely worth the step count wait. So the first thing you're going to need to do is update your COMFYUI because this model type will not run through the clip loader without updating. So after that, you can come to Civet AI and download my workflow and the model version you would like to choose, whether it be the BF16 or the GGUF. What I will say is the GUF model performs pretty much the same as the BF16. The only reason I would say if you can use the BF16 to get it is because you're obviously going to have more of that data set encapsulated inside that file as opposed to the GUF, because the BF16 is around 15 to 16 gigs and the GUF file is anywhere from 3 to 8 depending on which quant you choose. But after that, you'll get your VAE and your text encoder, and then you will come to Comfy, and after you have updated it, you will drag the workflow in, and you will get something that looks like this. So looking at the workflow, we'll start at your either GUF loader node or your diffusion model loader node. A quick tip, if you're going to use the GUF loader, you don't have to like mess with this model sampling node because I left it closed for the resolution value nodes. But all you have to do is just hold shift and then grab this and you can drag it over. So you don't have to do any extra work to bring that over. After that, we have our clip loader, which is running the weight type of Ovis, and it is running the 2.5 text encoder. You have your AE VAE, which is the Flux VAE for Flux 1. You have your positive and negative prompts. You have your K sampler, your model sampling node, your empty latent node, and your VAE decode. And you have your save image node. Before I show you these examples, I just want to say that this model does claim that it can run long text. But as you'll see in my examples, it really kind of struggles the more you throw in the prompt. So I would honestly use this model specifically for like, short graphics, not anything with long strings of text because it's going to blur and hallucinate out. So that being said, let's get into these examples. So I have a BF16 example and a GUF example to show you guys the difference between the two models. So here is the BF16. Here is the GUF. And I'll just go back and forth. So BF16, GUF. BF16, GUF. So as you can see, there's really very, very minor details in the aspects of the image. I would say mostly just the background had changed. The text seems to be identical, and this was ran on the same seed, so we will get into some other examples. So we have like a 90s style splash graphic. We have a graffiti style graphic on a photoreal wall. Have just a random abstract graphic. We have a cloud graphic. Have some like psychedelic look here. Have a, I would say is like an early 2000s style Windows graphic. Comic book looks like. This would look like an Nvidia chip commercial. I don't know. And we have a like storybook style graphic. So now we will get into the long text style images that I tried to generate, and you'll find that none of them really came out proper, which bigger diffusion based models will probably not struggle with this as much, like Flux 2, but you'll see what I mean. So here's the first example. Now, a majority of the top half of this text was good. You know, I mean, everything here is spelled correct up until you get to where this one hits. So you have a doubling of your text here, and then everything just gets very jumbled from here down. So you can tell that the model, after a certain amount of like text tokens, I guess you would say, it begins to struggle to generate proper text. So here's another example. So this was supposed to be a YouTube screen grab of what would be my page, but it just did not work pretty much in any way, shape, or form. I think there was just too much information in the prompt. Here is a website for a doctor office talking about AI psychosis. It really didn't capture anything. And here we have a Ovis image document explaining some of the bullet points for it. Pretty much, again, nothing came out proper. We have another example of that. Again, really nothing came out proper. And again, another long form did not come out proper. Again, certain things it doesn't struggle with, you know, like it can get, you know, basic lines of text, but once you start digging in and really prompting for more, it's where it's going to struggle. So, and that really comes down to it being a 7 billion parameter model. So, and here was just a final graphic that I chose to make to see if it could do a YouTube style graphic without me prompting for specifics. It did struggle a little bit. It didn't fit Rebel AI into the YouTube graphic, which was what I was expecting it to do, but it is legible and it is what I asked for. This is technically a YouTube graphic, so. All right, guys, that's all I'm going to have for you today. Just wanted to get you guys this workflow and let you use this model because I know this is going to be useful for a certain amount of people who want, you know, those various use cases I had mentioned before, like YouTube thumbnails and flyers and things. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, you can subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment to let me know how I did on the video. You can also like the video. It genuinely helps the channel tremendously. So go ahead and download this workflow, get generating, and if you guys don't mind, post a few of your generations in my gallery so I can see what you guys are working on. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.